Okay, and it looks like our 2-minute waiting time has ended, and most of the participants have joined. So I think we will start our webinar today. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Ervy's webinar about AI for HR, where we will talk about how to scale training without scaling your team. My name is Christian Zotsch. I'm an account manager here at Ervy, and the key speaker today, who I'm proud to present, is Kristaps Vergins, who is Ervy's co-founder. But before I give the microphone to Kristaps, I would like to touch on some key points about administrative things of today's webinar. So the first concerning your questions, please use the QA section to ask your questions anytime that you like. But please take into consideration when asking your questions to also add your name and organization so we can add your questions. Because for the most part, we will answer these questions later when the webinar has ended through email. So it's very important to add your name and organization. What's concerning the webinar recording, for quality control purposes, of course, it will be recorded, and you can receive the recording writing to us on the email hello@ervy.app. Moving on to today's agenda, what we will cover here today. We will start with kind of the theoretical basis for why HR teams are underwater, how AI tools in general could help. After that, when you joined this webinar today, you had the opportunity to also share with us your biggest challenges you are currently facing in employee learning and development. We have kind of categorized these challenges, and we are ready to share kind of our biggest outcomes and what we found. After that, Kristaps will show you a live demonstration on how to build smart, personalized training program in Microsoft Teams in just minutes, from a blank screen to a let's say a learning program ready to be distributed. And please do stay until the end of the webinar. We have something big to announce. It will be a HR AI Accelerator program where we will kind of give the overview of who's it's for, what's included, and how you can be the part of this accelerator, which is with a big thanks sponsored by Microsoft. With that out of the way, I believe it's time I give the microphone to our next speaker and our main speaker, Kristaps Vergins. Kristaps, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Christians, for your introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Kristaps Vergins. I'm a co-founder of Ervy, and I'm very happy to see you all here today from different countries, different time zones. I suppose we will have a good and fun webinar together. As you already understand, joining this webinar, the core topic that we will be discussing here today is AI. And to be precise, practical AI applications in human resources. I believe that many of you already have some hands-on experience with AI tools like ChatGPT or Copilot. And I believe that you have already found some strong use cases, how those AI tools can already accelerate your work tasks, make you more productive. However, I also believe that you have found some annoying and silly limitations that current AI models and tools have. However, if we are looking into the future, uh, I suppose you believe that AI is not going away. AI currently is advancing at a rapid pace. There are more frontier models, many more discoveries made, and you can see that those discoveries are turned in those practical applications that can help you to support your everyday work. And one thing that you have to remember is that today's AI is the worst AI that you will ever use. And this is why we at Ervy are helping companies to train their employees faster by 80%. And we wouldn't be able to do it without AI. And today, during this webinar, I will be sharing some insights and lessons that we have gathered working closely together with nearly 2,000 organizations worldwide using Ervy. I will focus on those practical AI applications, how HRs are already using AI and how AI are helping HR managers. Of course, there are some struggles, some challenges that HR managers have shared with us, and I will mention maybe what are those challenges and how you can actually overcome those challenges. 95% of HR leaders say that their job is overwhelming. And we have to understand that in the modern world, HRs are wearing those multiple hats and have many different tasks and responsibilities to deal with in their everyday work life. And if we are looking at those HR professionals today, that you will agree that you are juggling between many different systems, many different tools. You have those requests coming in from managers, from employees. You have to deal with compliance, with onboarding, with training, so many different responsibilities. However, it's not getting better. It's actually getting worse. And all the reports that I have seen and all the conversations that I have had with HR leaders like you, I can see this trend getting even worse. And actually, yeah, the future brings new challenges for HR. And I believe that you have already seen this World Economic Forum Future of Jobs Report 2025, which projects that by 2030, nearly 60% of workers will need major upskilling. And of course, as always, HRs will be mainly responsible to get this done. And like always, I suppose you won't be getting much more resources to do that. You will have to find a ways how to deal with this challenge and upskill your workforce. If we are asking ourselves, what's driving this rapid need to reskill? Of course, it's AI. And the World Economic Forum clearly points out that most knowledge workers will need to adapt because of AI. And HRs, you will be those who will ensure that employees will get those necessary skills and can actually efficiently collaborate with those AI tools, AI agents that will be introduced in the workforce in the upcoming years and will help to get more things done. However, if we can already predict that AI will be a much bigger part of this internal workforce and will help you and your colleagues to get more things done. And employees will need to adapt how to work collaboratively with those tools. I believe you would agree that you will need to have understanding and some tools yourself so you can efficiently train your employees how to integrate those agents and tools and AI in general in your workspace. I know many conversations that I have had, I have heard this one thing that you are already mentioning. We have so many tools and apps to use already. We don't need another one. We don't want to spend time, which we actually don't have on something new, launching those additional pilot projects or experiments. And it totally makes sense. However, when I get asked what to do and how we can actually find some important things, how we can adopt some new tools, for example, some AI tools as well, I advise focusing on those bottlenecks that you already have and know about, because I believe that every manager already knows what are their biggest bottleneck and how much time you are spending on such things and problems to deal with. And actually, there are three bottlenecks that I would like to share that gets mentioned by HR managers quite often, and it's a common problem in different organizations. So maybe you can grasp a quick ideas and see if those bottlenecks are actually challenges for your organization as well. Bottleneck number one are those manual processes. Those can be some regular or irregular tasks, but those processes have clear inputs and clear outputs that you want to achieve. And those manual processes can be like scheduling interviews with potential employees, screening resumes, chasing different approvals from your colleagues and things like that. And there is this rule of thumb that I would like you to remember about current situation and current tools and AI in general. Because if you can define such manual process with clear input and clear output that you want to achieve, and basically this process is some kind of routine task which is repeatable, it can be automated already. And I would quickly advise to you to think about those bottlenecks that you have in those manual processes. And if you can think about such a bottleneck, see if you can find solutions, some tool already which promises to automate this routine task. And I'm sure that you will be able, by doing quick search or asking ChatGPT, for example, to find some solutions and some advice to try already. And if there is really some bottleneck, some process that you can find a solution for, feel free to reach me out on LinkedIn. I will point you in the right direction. Bottleneck number two that I am hearing quite often is this data overload and fragmentation. Data shows that knowledge workers are spending up to 3.6 hours per day searching for information that they need to work with to get their job done. And the problem is even bigger because 60% of knowledge workers check more than 4 systems daily for such information. And you can understand if something can be found, then mostly those will be the managers who will try to answer those employee inquiries, and if those managers can get it done and find the information and help their employees, then HRs are this person who should help in such situation, and I believe that you already get quite often such inquiries daily from your colleague, and most of those inquiries are already some repeatable questions that gets just asked quite frequently. And of course, for such bottleneck, there are solutions already, and you can see, for example, if you are already using some internal communication platforms like Microsoft Teams or Slack, there are virtual assistant solutions that can be connected with your own internal knowledge bases, SharePoints, Confluences, other systems, and you can use AI to gather this information and help your employees to find the necessary documents or just retrieve those answers much more quickly. And working with our clients, we can see that it's already working and employees are spending much less time on this bottleneck. And bottleneck number 3, which is a trend that we can see, is of course employee training. I already mentioned this statistic by the World Economic Forum. The Future of Jobs report projects that 59% of workforce will need reskilling by 2030. And if we are asking managers about their training materials, courses, and how ready they are to train their employees, we can see a problem because 33% of managers say their training is outdated. And if this training is outdated, then employees won't enjoy it and won't be engaged in such training. And of course, if training is outdated, the simple thing to do is just build a new course or training material and publish that new shiny material to your colleagues to train from. However, we understand that HRs are already wearing those multiple hats and have many other different responsibilities. And currently, if you want to build 1 hour of quality training, it usually takes up to 84 hours of your work to do so. And for this bottleneck, there are already AI tools as well, which can help you to build personalized training courses based on your internal knowledge base that you already have and accelerate this process. And stay tuned, because this will be one of the aspects that I will point out during our practical Ervy demo, and I will be showcasing how Ervy can accelerate this pace of building training courses and distributing it to your colleagues using the internal knowledge that you already have. On regards of AI, I would advise to you not to think AI about as your enemy. I just see opportunities, and in HR as well, that AI can be actually your force multiplier. HR can make many more things done that you don't have time to do otherwise. And maybe you have already seen this famous internal memo that Shopify CEO Toby Lutke recently shared to their employees about that Shopify won't be hiring any new employees if existing colleagues can't prove that this job can be done with AI already. So there are already companies who are thinking throughout this AI lens and seeing if actually we need a new hire, or maybe there are some AI tool or agent that we can build to automate some of those routine tasks. And this is a thing that I would advise to you as well, because HR won't be replaced by AI, but AI can get your hands free and can help you to accomplish more and give back to you the time to think about things in general, coach, lead, create something new those different jobs that you don't have time to do currently. And yeah, we actually need to understand that future of work will be very different from that we are seeing today, because there will be introduced those AI agents in our workforce, and we will have to understand and learn how to collaborate and manage those HR agents. And actually, for HRs, it's a good thing to start thinking about those bottlenecks, as I mentioned, because if you can see or spot this bottleneck and think about existing tools, seeing if this bottleneck can be solved already, what is the worst case that will happen? Maybe you won't solve this bottleneck with some AI tool that you found, because you can see that this current tool have some limitations that you can't overcome, and it's maybe not worth spending more time on this tool. And in this worst case scenario, you will have some new practical hands-on experience, and you have learned something about such tool. And the best case, of course, if you find some solutions already and maybe AI can help you solving some bottleneck or issue, then you have your hands free to try identifying some new bottleneck and iterating from there on. So I would like to say to you that you need to experiment and see how AI can help you already. All right. In this next part, I believe you remember that during this sign-up period, you had this form that you were able to fill out, asking us questions and forming the agenda for this webinar. And we found actually some interesting trends in your challenges that you shared signing up for this webinar. And there are actually 6 common trends that I would like to share on regards of employee training that we get asked quite often. And I want to just do a quick deep dive on it. The first question that we got is on regards of how to motivate employees when training feels like just formality. Of course, we need to understand that there are 2 key problems behind it. Training feels mandatory, and most often not meaningful. And if we can find personal relevance to this training, then we have this low engagement and low motivation. And of course, we need to understand that every employee needs to look at training like personal investment. If I'm learning something new within the workplace, and if HR or learning and development team is providing me with some new learning courses, I need to understand how I would benefit from them, not my colleague, but me, and how can I accelerate my career from it. And strategies that you can use maybe to understand those training needs for your colleagues. Of course, managers can try to identify during those regular one-on-ones that you are having with your employees, or you can use some tools that help employees discover their training needs and learning paths on their own. There are already some systems, AI tools, for example, that can understand what are those subjects that the employee wants to learn and provide such materials to employees. Question number 2 that we got was about a dedicated person. Most companies don't have this dedicated person for learning processes, and what to do in such case. Of course, we understand the key problem here is that there is no clear ownership of training, and if you don't have a clear owner, then the training priority is very low, because HR is overwhelmed with other tasks like hiring, compliance, admin, etc., etc. And the thing that I could advise to you is to see if you maybe can find some part-time learning champion. In our experience, it can be even functional manager who spends just 4 hours a week understanding their employee learning needs and providing such materials to them. And of course, we understand that creating such materials is very long process. Then I would advise for you to look for existing solutions that can automate this training workflows, enrollments, reminders, tracking, content creation, etc., etc. Question number 3 on regards of Moodle or other LMS systems, because yeah, it's a common problem for companies that we already have those LMS systems, but the engagement with those systems are very low. And of course, we need to understand what are the key problems here. Of course, old non-personalized courses that are available within those LMS systems, like we talked previously. If employee can see how he can benefit from such course, then the engagement logically will be very low. Of course, we can talk about frustrating user experience, because if you have to switch to another platform, it can rapidly decrease this engagement. And strategies that I would advise to use is to look for those learning experience platforms, for example, who can work alongside the LMSs like Moodle, because learning experience platforms can already take the content that the LMSs have and distribute it in personalized, friendly manner to your employees, so every employee gets the training experience they need. And of course, to increase this engagement, already I believe that you have those communication platforms that your employees already use daily, for example, Slack or Microsoft Teams, and see if you can integrate those learning experience platforms where your employees can get this training experience in those daily used platforms, because if employees don't need to switch to another platform, then the engagement really increases. Question number 4 about the thing that employees often ask for, those new, shiny, beautiful tools, but after such tool gets purchased, they actually never use them. And of course, the main problem here is to understand that tools don't change those behaviors, habits do, and employees need to actually implement this new habit in their existing workday routine, so they can adapt the tools and find the right triggers to use those tools over time. Because it's very difficult to implement a new habit if we need to spend huge effort on it, and it's difficult to do. We have to switch to another system, and we already have many different tasks to do. It's logical that those tools won't be adapted well. And on regards of employee training, like I mentioned in the previous slide, yeah, think about how you can implement tools in your existing knowledge platforms like Slack or Microsoft Teams. You can find methods how you can use this push method to providing those learning insights to your employees, so they don't need to remember and try to find the learning content themselves. They get this notification, this reminder on Slack or Microsoft Teams about that they have to learn something new, and this actually really increases this engagement. And of course, you have to celebrate those small wins and reinforce the usage. And there are some classical methods like gamification, for example, which works because we want to have a bit fun in the work life as well. And gamification aspects, when you can compete with your colleagues on some things, can be interesting and make fun of your work and make productivity increase as well. Question number 5 about yeah, your leaders, because higher level managers and C-level leaders often expect employees to be trained, but they don't want to invest and how to handle that. And of course, we have to understand that we have this highest expectation bar, but low resources. And often training is seen as a cost, not as a strategy. And the thing that you have to keep in mind that you need to adapt for the next 5 years to be competitive in the current workforce landscape, because the future of work is changing, and those companies and employees who will be able to adapt in those next 5 years will stay competitive. And if we are talking about business leaders, this is the strategy that they need to remember, that training and this adaptability is the expense that they have to make, so they can keep their workforce and their company competitive in this business landscape in the next years. And as strategies, you can try to measure ROI. I believe that there can be ROI as increased work productivity that you can measure. If you are introducing some practical training course, you can measure if this actually translates to increased work productivity. You can measure if your onboarding gets faster, if you are providing your colleagues with some new tools or knowledge, how your turnover is changing. Try to find those metrics and see how those metrics translate to your training efforts. And lastly, question number 6 on regard how to expand knowledge about using AI in HR. I understand that HR professionals want to be up to date with those AI tools, but of course we don't have the time to follow every piece of information that we can find, and we need to be, as HR specialists, very efficient in this process. And when we have those many options to find information and follow some things, it can become overwhelming, and this analysis paralysis kicks in, and we don't understand which are our priorities and what we actually need to learn, and what resources to follow. And the thing I would like to advise for you is just get your hands dirty, because the customers that we are working on, I can see this huge difference between HR managers who started experimenting with some tools a year ago versus those HR professionals who are starting just now, because the gap is very, very wide. And when you have those mental models built on how those AI tools work, what are those limitations, you already understand what can be those next experiments that you can take and how you can upskill yourself to better apply those tools in your workforce. And of course, if you have joined this webinar today, you are on the right track. And of course, there are podcasts, Substacks, LinkedIn, content creators to follow. Just see what works for you and seek for such information. However, focus on those experiments as well, because if you can just get your hands dirty by using, for example, ChatGPT for those different use cases, or building those micro agents like GPT that you can do on ChatGPT, it will rapidly increase your knowledge about AI capabilities. All right, now we have this fun part, because I will be switching to this live demo showcasing Ervy, and I will focus on building personalized training programs that can be distributed right in Microsoft Teams. You might remember this fact about 1 hour of training, which takes usually up to 84 hours of work to deliver. And I will show how you can actually use Ervy to speed this process up rapidly. All right. Now we have switched to Ervy Hub, which is the admin portal of Ervy. And what we want to do in this step number one, I will build a new course. And for building a new course, I will be using Apple's business conduct policy that you can find on Apple's website. And this is something that every new hire at Apple should know about. And let's see how such PDF, how such document can be used to build a course from it. Let's use Ervy Hub. Let's choose create a course, and I will build Apple's business conduct policy course. All right, let's click create, and we will be using AI course builder for this thing. And by choosing AI course builder, you can already see that there are some things that we need to provide, but most importantly, there is an option to upload this file, internal policy or document that you would like to use in this case. And I will be choosing this Apple's business conduct policy, and Ervy is asking me for instructions like what employees will be using such policy, what is the purpose of this training, the audience, and things like that. And for such purpose, I will write down that the target audience are the new target audience is the new employees joining Apple. And here we can see we can choose from 3 different lesson types: informative, scenario-based, and quiz-based, and lesson tone: formal, motivational, technical, and friendly. Let's start with informative type and formal lesson tone, since it's Apple. And let's ask this AI course builder, this AI agent in Ervy, to build this training material for us. What Ervy does, Ervy actually analyzes the document and finds those most important parts, most important knowledge aspects within this document and translate it in a learning course. And here you can see Ervy came up with training lessons, and we can see that, all right, suspicious activity. In this lesson, Ervy is teaching how to report suspicious activity, something that Apple employees are responsible doing. Here you can see about confidential information, how to share such information. Here we can see about gift rules and things like that. Basically, this is this essential knowledge we have extract from these documents. So employees during the onboarding process, they don't need to read those lengthy documents because they don't usually do it. And you can actually use Ervy to extract this important knowledge. Let's choose scenario-based lesson, and let's choose the same policy and see what Ervy does here. In this case, Ervy will build this scenario-based lesson so employee can understand and analyze some existing situation in their potential work life, so they can basically play this role as an employee getting into such situation. And let's wait a bit. All right, and here we can see we have practical example where Maria, as new employee at Apple, receives this email, and you can see the challenge, the decision points, and things like that. And all right, of course, you can review and you must review those lessons to understand if those are acceptable and according to your business guidelines. You can add even additional resources like images, video, link to your existing LMS systems or other materials that you would like to share and include in such lessons. But I believe that you would like to distribute such training course to your new employees. And how to do it on Ervy? You can click this distribute course option, and there are two things to choose from. In this case, I will publish this course instantly because I want to provide my new employees with those lessons that we have created. And I want to make sure that those questions are available to employee right away during his onboarding process. So I choose my team, I choose publish date and must completed by date. I can choose how many lessons from this course I want to distribute and what is this goal, how many lessons we need to get completed, and I just click publish. And after publishing such course, Ervy will notify on Microsoft Teams employees within this group, within this Microsoft Teams channel that Ervy has been added to about this new training. And if we are opening Microsoft Teams, we can see that, yeah, here is this notification from Ervy about this instant training on regards of Apple's business conduct policy. And here are the training details. And as a new hire, I can start training. I can go to this My Courses page and I can find all the lessons here and I can complete it from Microsoft Teams, My Courses tab. And of course, if there are different courses that I get assigned by my manager or learning and development managers or HR, I can see it here and I can follow this those deadlines and training lessons right within Microsoft Teams. All right, on regard of this second option, maybe you want to keep this micro-learning approach and you would like to be able to distribute one lesson at a time to your employees. For example, you want to remind your employees about cybersecurity or some internal policies that employees should keep in mind, and that's not a good way to publish this course instantly. Maybe you want to send such a lesson once a week. And this is how you can do it. You can basically choose the course, Apple's business conduct policy, you can choose the theme, and you can use this option, schedule regular lessons. And I can mention to Ervy that, all right, every day at 1 p.m. I want to distribute a course to my US sales team colleagues, and I will do it every Friday. And those lessons will be available Friday at 1 p.m. on Ervy Virtual Assistant. And if I click schedule, you can see that Ervy has sent to me another notification. And as an employee, I can see that, all right, my manager has scheduled this new course and lessons I will be receiving every Friday at 1 p.m. And here you can see some examples of such lessons where Ervy is just using this virtual assistant to send notification to your colleagues about their training lessons that they should see and complete. And here you can see such notification on AI Essentials for Future-Proof Career. And the thing that I need to do is to see, all right, there is knowledge test for me. I will try to find you the correct answer. I didn't do it because the answer I gave was wrong. And here you can see this interaction with Ervy's virtual assistant. Every lesson has this gamification aspect as well. You can see that by completing those lessons, employees are earning points and competing in this monthly leaderboard to get this engagement going. And you can see these employees in US sales teams and how they compete with each other on this gamification aspect as well. And of course, lastly, you can use Ervy as a virtual assistant. Ask Ervy questions. For example, if you are an employee of Apple who co-founded Apple, and Ervy will be able answer such questions, and you can use your own internal documents and knowledge bases like SharePoint, Confluence, and things like that to connect with Ervy, so Ervy can find information and extract this information from such internal documents as well. All right, and I can see that we are running already short of time. So the last thing that I would like to showcase is this analytics aspect, which is very powerful when you are training your employees on the many different topics and providing this option to have this personalized training approach. Then, of course, you want to see how effective this training is. And Ervy is providing this comprehensive analytics where you can track trends in your company in general, in your different teams. You can see, for example, what training courses have been distributed from different teams, what are those completion results. And of course, you can track employees in detail as well. For example, you can see your new hires and understand if they have completed this onboarding course, or maybe they have some knowledge gaps already that needs to be filled before he starts working on new projects in your company, etc., etc. So the thing that I want to mention is that currently AI can help you to accelerate routine tasks in rapid pace, and employee training and content creation for such training courses is one of those things. If you haven't tried out such tools, I highly recommend you to do. And this is the place where I will give the mic back to my colleague Christians, because Christians has some wonderful opportunity in partnership with Microsoft that we want to introduce, so you can get your hands dirty and gain some invaluable knowledge on regards how to use AI tools like Ervy, and then see how it can accelerate your internal training processes. So thank you everyone, and Christians, the mic is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Kristaps. Well, let's talk about the icing on the cake today. Let's talk about the Baltics first HR AI Accelerator, which is backed by Microsoft. And the three, I would say, the main things to remember about this accelerator, that it's a 6 months program, which is completely free. It's fully supported by Ervy and Kristaps's team, and it carries absolutely zero risks for you. Why this idea? Why did we create this Baltics first AI Accelerator is because we found that most organizations that don't have Ervy's team's support, they only used 10% of Ervy's power during their trials. This is our way how to help you unlock the rest. Because even the smartest organizations stall at a rollout, but this accelerator will give you the blueprint, the tools, and the expert support to unlock the full transformation potential from day one. Moving on to what's included in our 6 months AI-enabled learning accelerator. So it's 3 months. We start with 3 months totally free organization-wide access for absolutely everyone with Microsoft Teams access, no strings attached. You get real-time tracking and milestone dashboards. You get the AI content builder, which Kristaps previewed, and we will also provide you with live enablement webinars, which will help you to create these courses more efficiently and bring up their quality. And we will have also a guided rollout for you with our onboarding experts. This really isn't just a trial; it's a turnkey playbook to make Ervy your team's go-to learning platform. After these 3 months, when you have, let's say, got the hang of the solution and you already see the first results, you will probably reach a point after those 3 months where you need a bit more time to kind of bring it into your organization. As Kristaps earlier mentioned, it will not be a let's say a turnkey moment. We just install a new app and everything goes as planned. Of course, there will be a need for an adoption time. You have the opportunity to earn 3 more bonus months if you do 2 simple things. You onboard at least 80% of the Microsoft Teams users in your organization. Plus, you publish 3 internal learning courses that you have created. Moving on, I would kind of like to give you an overview of what changes can you expect, because of course every project needs its milestones or things that are expected of it. The first one is definitely that courses will be built in minutes, not weeks. As Kristaps showed, we can create a course basically in 2 minutes. So yeah. You can see a rapid increase in training engagement. That's something we have seen with our clients in the past. One of our clients, which is a Latvian retail company, saw an 89% increase in training engagement. And of course, the onboarding time can be cut down by 50 or 60%. And you already have the knowledge that is required to create these courses. You have the SOPs, the decks, the documents, presentations, and we will help you turn them into enablement engines scaled instantly within your Microsoft Teams, the platform your employees most definitely already use and are familiar with. No need for extra passports or getting acclimated to a new environment. So who is this really for? This is definitely a program for those that care about knowledge sharing, performance of their employees, staying relevant, and creating a learning culture in your organization. If we look at the company size, AI Accelerator will probably be best for organizations with 100+ employees. They will definitely need to be Microsoft Teams users, these employees, because that's the UI we are using currently. And it's definitely for those companies, as Kristaps mentioned, who want to replace clunky LMS tools or want to supplement an already existing LMS system that maybe provides this once a year training really well, but there is a need for a supplement solution that helps you create the courses faster and distribute this material through these small lessons that come in Microsoft Teams every day, rather than a bulky 2-hour course that you have to do in one sitting. So if you're serious about internal excellence, this is your moment. Not someday, this quarter. This is your chance to really start doing things practically. And here I would like to show you the QR code where you can basically already apply for our Accelerator program. This is really the fast lane to real transformation. Again, 6 months, fully supported, zero cost. The cohort is limited to only 50 companies, and we already have some applications from our local market. So the cohort is filling up really fast. So if you're ready to lead, now is the time. Please scan the QR code so you can apply right now. And with that out of the way, I think we have reached the end of today's webinar. Again, I would like to remind you about the questions and answers section. You can all write your questions in the Q&A section, and we will, after the webinar, answer each and every one of them individually through email. Please do remember to add your name and organization so we know who is asking this question, and we can later send the answer. And remember that if you're interested in the recording of today's webinar, please be sure to send us a message to hello@ervy.app. It would also be nice if you could share this recording with other colleagues that you have, so they can also benefit from today's webinar. And with that, I hope you had a great time with us today, and I hope to see you all in the next one.